So we'll see what are the various muscles. Okay. So the fascia covering the muscles in the posterior abdominal wall, and we'll see what are the structures found in the posterior abdominal wall and posterior abdominal visceral organs. Now, see, this is the dissected cadaver. Okay, so what is this dissected cadaver? First of all, let us try to get the layout of picture of what it is showing. See, this point is actually pubic symphysis. Okay, and this is inguinal region. Okay, so this is the inguinal ligament. You can see this is the inguinal ligament. Okay, then the muscles of anterior abdominal wall, they have been reflected. External oblique, internal oblique, transversus abdominis, all muscles have been reflected. Below that muscles, you are finding there is one shining fascia. This is all, you see, skin, superficial fatty layer, then we will have deep membranous layer. All muscles have come like a flap, and this is the fascia which is shining, which is nothing but fascia transversalis. Below fascia transversalis, whatever area is there, now it is peritoneum. Okay, so in this peritoneum you are finding this area. What is this part, you tell me? Hemalata, what may be this bag?
Stomach.
Yeah, stomach. So from the gray, of course it is not so well like pulled and shown, but because all organs are still intact in position, no, nothing has been disturbed after reflecting the anterior abdominal wall. Okay, stepwise dissection this is. Okay, now you are seeing what is this? This is actually, can you guess what is this?
Intestines.
No, not intestines. What is attached to the greater curvature of the stomach? So much of fat is there, no beta?
Greater omentum.
Yeah, Lokesh, very good. Greater omentum. This hanging apron-like structure is greater omentum. Lower down, this is rectus abdominis. This is rectus. Still, it is intact. It is not reflected. Rectus abdominis is not reflected. This is all greater omentum. There are certain holes in greater omentum, no? Out of dissection only they are formed, not naturally. So behind this greater omentum, what are these areas? What is this structure?
Colon. Descending, ascending colons.
Oh no, just check. They look like small coils, no beta?
Acha, okay. So small intestine.
Small intestines. Okay, then what is this organ? This is actually fetus, small baby. That's why even umbilical cord is here. Okay, what is this organ? This looks solid. Liver. What is the name of this ligament separating two lobes of the liver?
Falciform ligament.
Very good, falciform. So that means this is abdominal cavity, and you are seeing the anterior abdominal wall. Now see here, now contents are removed. Okay, you have removed greater omentum, you have removed stomach, you have removed liver, you have removed small intestines, anterior abdominal wall muscles, large intestines. Okay, you have removed kidneys, ureter also. So okay, then you will see now this is posterior abdominal wall. Okay, that is, this is again the posterior wall of the peritoneum. Okay, actually it will thicken to form fascia. That fascia also I will discuss today after this topic. So you are finding there are, what are these blood vessels? We know pretty well.
Abdominal aorta. Inferior vena cava.
Very good. What is the name of this muscle?
Psoas major.
Psoas major and
Quadratus lumborum.
Quadratus lumborum, PQT. Psoas major, quadratus lumborum, then transversus abdominis. Okay. So now the posterior abdominal wall, it is a musculoskeletal wall between the lower border of the rib cage and pelvic brim. Okay. So this is the lower border of the rib cage, and this is pelvic brim. Okay. So from here till here, whatever contents we see, that is all posterior abdominal wall. Okay. So it marks the posterior boundary of abdominal cavity. So anteriorly lie the retroperitoneal organs and parietal peritoneum. That means whatever Peritoneum we find here is parietal peritoneum, and behind the parietal peritoneum, can you see the shadow of kidney here? Can you see the ureter here? Okay, that means kidney and ureter. That means what? This is parietal peritoneum, and behind the parietal peritoneum, whatever organs are there, they are retroperitoneal. Okay, that means anteriorly to posterior abdominal wall, we have retroperitoneal organs behind parietal peritoneum. Okay, so this posterior abdominal wall, we have to check these contents: muscles, fascia, and lumbar spine. Okay, so in the posterior, see, this is the rib cage if you observe from here superiorly, and this is the pelvic brim. Okay, and this is the parietal peritoneum, behind which we may have like kidney and ureter, retroperitoneal organs. Okay, and this layer is muscles, that PQT muscles. This is layout one below the other. Okay, so and of course it is enclosed in fascia, that will be thoracolumbar fascia. I will discuss after this topic now itself. Okay, these two green lines are enclosing the muscles. In fact, they form thoracolumbar fascia. Okay, behind which we will have bones. Okay, the lumbar and sacral vertebrae. Okay, so this is the layout of contents from anterior aspect to the posterior aspect. Okay, so that means this is the anterior aspect. You are removing layer by layer. Okay, so that from anterior aspect it is going to posterior aspect. So this is whole abdominal cavity. Transfer section has been taken. Okay, so in this transfer section you are finding, see, this is the peritoneal cavity you are finding, and then Chavi didn't join. Okay. So retroperitoneal structures, what are the various retroperitoneal structures we have? Kidney we have, isn't it? Apart from that, do you remember we have abdominal aorta, inferior vena cava, okay, lymphatic
Excuse me,
nerves.
ma'am.
Habit.
Ma'am, Hansraj is asking you to accept him, ma'am.
Accepted.
He's waiting.
Just now I accepted. Just now I accepted. Check if Chavi
Okay.
is there or not. Please put a message to her also. No?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, beta. So now see here, paravertebral gutter. This word I told you when I was discussing like peritoneum. Do you remember? See, this is lumbar vertebrae, isn't it? This is sacrum on either side of the lumbar vertebra. Actually, we call it as paravertebral gutter. Okay. Then, so in this paravertebral gutter, suppose if the curvature
Gutter
of
means space, ma'am.
gutter means depression, better.
Okay.
Gutter means depression. Okay.
Okay.
So lordosis. What is lordosis? If the anterior curvature is excessively becoming convex anteriorly, then you call that condition as lumbar lordosis. That means in the lower back, when you see from outside, you will see the deep concavity. Okay, so that is nothing but lumbar lordosis. Now see here, what are the various structures now? What are these two structures now? We are seeing the layout of the contents of the posterior abdominal wall. The blue in color is inferior vena cava, and adjacent to this we have is
Aorta.
abdominal aorta. Okay. Okay, the forward projection is enhanced by aorta and inferior vena cava. Floor is formed by these structures.
Ravan.
Gauze lehne. Gauze lehne.
Ma'am, can you please unmute, ma'am? I can't hear.
Sorry. Okay, beta.
Can you repeat,
So,
ma'am?
yeah. See, the various muscles we have here are psoas major, quadratus lumborum. This place we have iliacus, and in this yellow arrow region we have diaphragm. Okay, beta. So now this is the muscle. What we are seeing, that is actually showing the origin of psoas major. Okay, this is fibrous arches. Psoas major is happening. Okay, so this whole muscle which you are finding on either side of the vertebral column, okay, those lumbar vertebra, this whole thing is psoas major, and its lower continuation will be called as psoas minor. Okay, so of course we know inguinal ligament. Now see here, see what is the muscle you are finding. These are the lumbar vertebrae. On either side of the body of the lumbar vertebra, the muscle what you are finding here is psoas major. Along with psoas major, if you observe, you are also finding one more small muscle, no, very thin, small, tapering type of muscle. This is nothing but psoas minor. Okay, then in the iliac fossa, you are finding one muscle. This is iliacus. Okay, actually the psoas major and iliacus together they form one tendon which is called as iliopsoas. Iliopsoas, which get inserted into which bone? Femur bone. You remember the parts of femur? Greater trochanter from the anterior aspect. We also have lesser trochanter, intertrochanteric line. Behind we have intertrochanteric crest, isn't it? So in the medial most aspect, in the upper part, you will find the insertion of iliopsoas tendon. Iliopsoas tendon. Okay. Now let us see.
Ma'am, Hansraj, he wants to join and he's not able to join. Is there any
What to do,
problem?
beta? See, if you are able to see on the screen, 4 times request, same name is coming. I'm admitting all. Despite of that, also he is having. See, are you able to see this?
No, ma'am. We are seeing psoas major slide.
Okay. I don't know. I'm admitting all, but despite of that, let's see. Okay, so as
Ma'am, his
major.
name will be there in the waiting room.
No, beta.
Sometimes names will be there in the waiting room. You have to accept from there.
That's what I'm doing, beta. I always do that.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Admitting all, despite of that, is finding difficult. 1 plus 70 is yes, Lord. Admitting all continuously, I'm admitting. Okay, but see psoas major, exactly from where it is originating. See bodies of T12 to L5. See T12 to L5. These are the bodies. Okay. Then, so intervertebral disc and the medial ends of the transverse processes. Spelling is wrong, but processes. So it is inserted into the lesser trochanter of the femur. Okay. The part above, you remember the medial arcuate ligament? I told you the covering of psoas major muscle is the fascia
Yes,
covering the
medial
you
Yes.
remember?
Iliac arcuate ligament.
Yes, ma'am.
Psoas fascia, isn't it? The psoas fascia is thickened to form medial arcuate ligament. This word we have seen when we were doing this diaphragm origin.
Diaphragm, yes, ma'am.
Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So part above the medial arcuate ligament is actually lying in the thoracic cavity. Okay. So the action of this muscle is it is flexing the hip and laterally flexing the lumbar spine. Okay. Then both muscles acting together. That means major and minor, they help in flexion of the trunk. Okay. Now after this we will talk about the next muscle, that is quadratus lumborum. Okay. So that means previously the muscle I told you it was P. It was quite close to T12 to L5. Okay. And now as you move on, what are these green lines? Where are they? Green dots? Where are they shown? From the picture we can make out it is the transverse processes, isn't it? In the
Okay.
lumbar vertebra, these are the transverse processes and these are the tips of the transverse processes. And this point is iliolumbar ligament. Connecting the lumbar vertebra and ilium bone, we have iliolumbar ligament. Okay, and also anterior sacroiliac ligament. Why all these names are shown? Because now let us see the origin of this quadratus lumborum. Okay, so it is originating from the transverse process of L5. Okay, then iliolumbar ligament. Okay, and also iliac crest. Okay, then so the insertion is going into the transverse processes of L4. That means in reverse direction it is written L4, L3, L2 and L1 and then 12th rib. Okay. Okay, and the medial half of the 12th rib you can see here from this picture. Okay, that is quadratus lumborum. Very simple origin insertion. Then you are seeing this muscle. What is the name of this muscle? Iliacus. So iliacus is arising from the iliac fossa, which you should have studied when you were doing the hip bone also. Okay, so iliacus and psoas major, both of them will join, no, to form iliopsoas tendon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Iliopsoas, you see, this muscle is iliacus and this muscle, sorry, this muscle is iliacus and this muscle is psoas major. Both of them are joining to form iliopsoas tendon, and this iliopsoas tendon is going and getting attached into the lesser trochanter of
Lesser
the
trochanter.
femur.
Femur.
Yeah. So iliacus is originating from the iliac fossa. Okay, the upper 2/3 of the iliac fossa and anterior sacroiliac ligament. Okay, it is completely filling the iliac fossa. Okay, and it is getting inserted into the lesser trochanter. Along with like iliopsoas tendon word you should remember, because psoas major and iliacus both will join together to form iliopsoas tendon. Okay, the action of this muscle is flexing the hip. Okay. Now these are the three muscles what we have. So apart from these muscles, obviously we will have fascia covering these muscles. The fascia covering the psoas major is psoas fascia, fascia covering iliacus muscle is iliac fascia, and fascia covering the lumbar part of this muscles is thoracolumbar fascia. This I will elaborate now. Thoracolumbar fascia itself is actually a 5 marks question, and any of these muscles also can come for 5 marks. Psoas major has come once for 5 marks. Okay, now what is this psoas fascia? It's a thick facial sheath surrounding the psoas major muscle. Okay, arises as the muscle enters the abdominal cavity under the medial arcuate ligament. Okay, this fascia completely surrounds the psoas major muscle, extending almost from the medial arcuate ligament till the pelvic brim. Okay, that is. Now covering the, what is the second muscle? Thoracolumbar fascia. I will take the help of another PowerPoint. I will help you with very nice pictures. In fact, thoracolumbar fascia, whatever you are finding in yellow color, actually when discussing this lumbar vertebrae also, if you remember, I told you we have thoracolumbar fascia, which is splitting to enclose the muscles of the posterior abdominal wall, isn't it? So actually we have three layers of thoracolumbar fascia: anterior layer, middle layer and posterior layer. So between the anterior layer and middle layer you will see the quadratus lumborum. Between the middle layer and posterior layer we will see erector spinae. Okay. So what is the first muscle? This is psoas major, and the covering of psoas major is shown in a different color, red in color, because this is a separate fascia,
Ma'am?
psoas fascia.
Ma'am, that is which vertebra, ma'am?
This is any lumbar vertebra, because the extension of this muscles is from, if you see the picture of course that is, if you see this picture, whole area is having the psoas major, whether you take it L1 or L2 or L3 or L4 or L5, isn't it? Adjacent to that we also have quadratus lumborum, and adjacent to that we also have the erector spinae. So this you can consider it as L4. Okay, so this is,
Okay.
and this is the, and the, if you are entering from abdomen, this is the like posterior abdominal wall, and when you see it from back, this is suppose back of our body, this is skin, isn't it?
Mm.
This is the spinous process, and below the skin, you will have that superficial fascia, deep fascia. Below that, on either side of the vertebral column, if you remember me telling you, we have a long muscle throughout the vertebral column. We call it as erector spinae.
Mm.
Isn't it better? Okay, of
Yes,
course, I will tell one more. Hansraj is struggling. I'm continuously accepting what to do. I don't know. Okay, now see here again. Okay, so you are finding what are these two muscles better? You tell me in red color which muscle is this? Psoas major. In yellow color? Yellow color? Quadratus lumborum.
Quadratus lumborum.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So sometimes there may be an infection in the posterior abdominal wall. Okay, so many visceral organs are there, no? Kidneys are there, stomach is there. You remember perforated intestines? If there is any infection in the greater sac, lesser sac, anything, any infection, the infection in the abdomen, from the anterior abdomen area, it can gradually spread to the posterior abdominal wall. It can infect the psoas fascia. It can infect the psoas major muscle, thereby causing psoas abscess. Okay, abscess means what? Pus formation. Okay, not only that reason, sometimes see, basically tuberculosis is attacking the lungs, but through blood circulation, tuberculosis can go to any part of the body, including the vertebral column. Suppose if the bone TB, that means the infection has come to the lumbar vertebra. Through lumbar vertebra, the infection can easily spread to the psoas major muscle also. Okay, that may be the reason for psoas abscess. Okay, that is. So a pus can accumulate here. Okay, the pus can actually start from the lumbar vertebra, intervertebral disc, and then gradually it can track along the muscle, and it can collect in this groin region. Okay, as a lump behind. Okay. Time has expired. Let me just remove.
Ma'am, can we leave the meeting and rejoin again?
Hansraj also
Then you can
will.
accept everyone.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, but anyhow, I will start with one more. That is thoracolobacter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, but we will leave then.
Yes.